Welcome to Berkshire CenterPoint, where arts and spirituality, healthy lifestyles meet to create community. Here we're at one of the favorite venues I have in the entire Berkshire, Arts in the Berkshire Gallery at 8 Castle Street. And we have a wonderful show that Shoni Porras has for us from the June 18 to July 27. It's called Outside In. I'm here with one of the 5 artists, Diane Pearl. Welcome, Diane.
Thank you.
Well, as an introduction, I've known you for decades. Your work has always spoke to me about the outside-in process. Tell me a little about your work and about the process of creating it.
The work is very much spontaneous line design. So a lot of it is a direct thing from nature, and also with balance and dealing with my own sense of what is dance, what is spirituality, what is, along with imagination and color. And so there's a really neat thing of an evolution over time with my work.
Okay. Well, one of the things I notice about your work, and you could show some of the works in progression, is that the works are in almost an imaginary world. It's the world of Diane Pearl, but it's a world that I could relate to. It is an interior world, but it relates to outside objects. How do you find it? Is it in water objects, like from scuba diving? Is it from the natural world, or just from your own imagination?
It starts out with the intention of balance.
Okay.
And where the shapes come from. The beginning shapes were almost like barnacles. When I was a kid, my dad had a boat, and that was one of the things that fascinated me on the bottom of the boat, how even in a week's time that this growth could happen, and then being that biform of growth. And so to me, that I just took that as an interior way of so much how things manifest. So I started taking a lot of that kind of things, which turned into petals, which turned into roots, which turned into, again, like I say, balance. Okay. and
Well, one of the things is you start off with black and white. That is the basic aspects of it. So how do you start with pen? Is that how you do it?
I have a pen.
Oh, the magic pen, okay.
There used to be a rapidograph pen, which was far more fussy than what the microns that have become more popular. I really love these pens. I could actually say I could devour these pens because when I start working with them, in the first series that I started, which was many, many years ago, and then evolved from other kinds of things, of art forms, but to go more currently for the show here, the first kind of things that I really focused on with line design is a perfect thing of what Dover Press had printed for me. So it's like starting out with the coloring books. This was a series that, when I went back to drawing, was something that my mother had talked to me about. It was amazing what I could do in 15 minutes. Okay. Well, instead of 15 minutes, I would take 40 minutes in the morning, 40 minutes in the evening as a meditation, and created, over a 6.5-year period, about 600 drawings.
But the ones that I've seen now, the evolution, is the latest series that you have, around which here at the gallery, Shoni's gallery, you have, it's much more intricate. It's cross-hatching, is that the right expression?
Cross-hatching. My father was a photorealist, and when I started doing this series, which is about 4.5 years ago in the black and white, I started doing the cone, the very basics of artistic structure, the cone, the circle, the square, and then I started trying to deal with the dimension, which I never really had to before in any of my other work. And then I went back to looking at a lot of the real classic etchers of like 16th, 15th, 16th, yeah, 17th, sure, 18th, yeah, centuries. And that was a great, great influence. And for about, like, started to say 4.5 years that I just worked in the black and white.
So the cross-hatching actually adds to the dimensionality.
It adds to the dimensionality. It adds to the form. It adds to the structure. So that was required less imagination to go ahead and see the forms that I was trying to imitate.
Okay, so some of the pictures are entirely in black and white. Those are the originals. But the ones that we see that are original art, you take the black and white and you take some kind of a print of that? What's the process of translating into color?
Okay, what I have done, especially with the ones that I've done with those cross-hatching, because the cross-hatching takes about 80 hours of time.
Okay, wow.
And I didn't want to have people have to charge, millions of dollars for a single piece. What I did is I printed them all on archival paper, archival inks, really beautiful things. And then I started to color. My first set of series has been with colored pencils. The next series will be with watercolors. Watercolor is my primary medium that I'm absolutely in love with. And so this is a lot of the colored pencils that we have here in the show, and I'm quite proud of them.
Well, what I love about it is that I've seen you in these limited series, you will take a basic black and white and you will do different color versions of it, original art, and they're remarkably different because of the colors. How do the colors speak to you to say, use me, use yellow, use blue? How do you
Well, here's
do
the
that?
interesting thing with the concept of in and out. It's what you feel. Like there's some days where the feelings are just vibrant and really wonderful, and I'm using hot pinks, hot colors. And then there's the other times where it's far more introspective. And with the introspection, that's where the more cooler colors or a different sensibility comes out.
Okay. Well, one of the things that the audience should know is that you're a gallerist, you're a painter, you're an artist, but you also have done woodworking. You've done a variety of things in your life, but you're primarily focused in your gallery down in Mexico. Here, when you come up to create the work up here, do you find the New England colors and vibrations and flowers influencing your art?
I come from New England, and so everything that I have done is very much a definite influence from the plants and things that I first grew up with. And when I went down to Mexico, a lot of my things are too busy. I mean, when in Mexico, there's a lot more of a vista, there's a lot more brilliance of colors and some other forms, but not as the tight detail, though I can't say that it's not detailed work. It's just a different kind. When I've started doing this kind of style, because it is abstract, a lot of my influences are from Matisse and Monet.
Okay.
And Matisse was a lot of the paper cuts and a lot of the balance and a lot of that kind of structuring. From the Matisse kind of work is when I started doing the woodworking, and then from the woodworking to jewelry making. It seemed like every time that I'd moved to another area of the country was when I was in New York, I did a lot of the woodworking and making folding screens. The folding screens ended up being adapted to cuff bracelets when I moved to Santa Fe.
Okay.
When I moved to New Mexico, to Old Mexico, this is when I had the opportunity to open a gallery, which started out with just a few people, but what I found out is it needed about 65 people to balance out enough different styles. So that's where the gallery was really something important.
So you bring some of that gallery experience into the work because your work is, I could see it multicultural, I could see it being very cross-cultural. And the other element of it that always strikes me is the meditative, calming quality. Even though it's very, very busy, it has its own organizational quality, almost like a mandala, the way a mandala will start at some central point and swirl around and bring us into different levels. Do you ever look at your work as a mandala or as a spiritual work?
Oh, yes, and I do it as a spiritual workbook set, like a workbook. And I have classes where I do coloring classes where other people can take what my designs are and interpret in their own ways. And that has been something that has been an influence for other people to have that experience, which I feel is so much of getting into more of the heart mind rather than just staying in the head. Okay. So there's like a lot of very significant opportunity for just altered states of consciousness without getting...
Well, one of the things that I love about your work is, with all good works of art, is that I can see the same work a million times, and each time something new pops into me because it's bringing me into some world of understanding and experience. Up at my sanctuary or my studio, I have a number of your work, and I'm always amazed how they speak to me. How do you keep it fresh in your life when you create these works?
By the love that I have for doing each piece.
Okay. So
that's about the simplest explanation.
That is the best. Sometimes simple is best. So come to the gallery. It's open the 18th of June to July 27. Feel the love, feel the joy. Pass it by a few times. Keep coming back. In Diane, Pearl, and all the other artists that are here, Until next time, this is John Krysko from CenterPoint.